Alright team, welcome to another video. What we're going to have a little look at today is how to create engineering drawings using Autodesk Inventor. Alright, so I've got a drawing in front of me. I've got an isometric assembly, a couple of different views of that component. So this is what we're actually going to be working on today. Now if I come up to my browser bar here and I double click on sheet 2, you'll see I've also got an orthographic drawing of that component. Alright, so that component there, you can see in the top right, is actually this component here. Which is part number 1. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to come to our drawing template. Now this template is available on Canvas, so you can download it from there, but if you've obviously been working on other jobs, you might have a copy somewhere saved onto your college drive. So I'm looking for a blank sheet here. Now you'll see I've not got additional sheets in yet. I'm going to add them a little bit later. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got my place views tab highlighted, and I'm going to select this one called base. Alright, now you see a little dialog box opens up here, and then you also see your view cube, which you'll be familiar with from creating your parts. And if you click on that view cube, it spins it around so that you can see the different views that are available. Okay, so I'm going to spin it back around to get to my original. So I've got a front view there. Alright, and then as you can see it's highlighted in green, and if I drag my mouse below there, it's actually asking me, you can see that little dotted line, it's asking me do I want to put another view of that on there. Now for this particular activity I don't, but I will do when I start my orthographic drawings. So I'm just going to get a nice isometric view of that component. Now isometric views, I'm going to shade it, so I select shaded, and I'm going to leave the scale as 1 to 2. Now depending on what job you're doing, you might have to alter the scale, but I'm going to put mine as 1 to 2 for that job. Okay, now don't worry, you can always go back in and edit these things later, so if you're not entirely sure at this point, just drop it on the page and then we can have a play about it. So I'm going to click OK, and what that does is it closes the dialog box and it creates your isometric view on the screen itself. Now if I realise at some point that's not what I want, if I hover over it, little red line, double click, and I get that dialog box back open. Okay, so I'm going to OK that. Now next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start to come over here. I'm going to start to create my orthographic views of this component. Alright, so same command as before. I go to base, and as you can see I've got my front view there. Alright, now I might actually make the scale of this a bit bigger, because this is where I'm going to be putting all my detail. Now again, you can see the little green dotted line. Alright, now this time I do want to put some additional views in. So I'm going to come below, and I'm going to left click, and I'm going to go up to the left of the original image, and I'm going to left click on that as well. And I'm going to OK that. Alright, now you see there, it's changed it from that shaded to non-shaded, which is what I'm looking for when I'm doing orthographic engineering drawings. Alright, so I've got my front view here, and then I've got my plan view or the top view. Now it would make more sense for my top view to be above the front, wouldn't it? And it'd make more sense for my right hand side view to be on the right hand side. Alright, now we'll do a little bit of work on projection types at some point in the future. But what I've got here is I've got this image projected off the center of that image, and this image projected off the center of that. Alright, now if these are not completely in line, then it's technically not an engineering drawing, it's just some images dropped on a page. Okay, so we need to make sure that these are in projection. Now if you do make a mistake, yeah, don't delete everything and go back and start all over again. If you do forget to, let's say for example, I'll get rid of that one for now. Yeah, if I do forget to put one of those views in, then I can simply come up to projected, click on that tab, and I'll project that view, and I'll come below, and then I'll right click and create. So then you'll see I've got that there now. Alright, so it's not a matter of sort of deleting stuff and starting all over again. I can add things as and when I need to. So next thing I need now is to get some dimensions onto this. Okay, now I've got a few bits of info on Canvas already about correct dimensioning and correct annotation of engineering drawings. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select my dimension tab. Alright, and that's available in, so you come to the next one, annotate, dimension. I'm going to select this line here, that line, and I'm going to come up to this top one. I'm going to left click on that, I'm going to left click there. Okay, now this dialog box will pop open every time you put a dimension on, unless you tick that box. Now putting dimensions on, you want to do it pretty quickly, so we don't want that box to pop open every time, because then we've got to close it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this line, and I'm going to choose that edge, and I'm going to get that dimension there, 145. Alright, now you'll have noticed when I've already got this tool highlighted, you can see these little green dots appearing. Okay, that's what's called a constraint, so that means your dimension is going to fix to that point, which isn't always what I want. Alright, so I know I want to constrain that dimension to 145 and 30. Okay, so let's just come down to another view, and we'll do the same thing again. We'll do there, and down below, and always checking the position of this text. Okay, and I'll do another one. I'll do there, and then just to the left. Done. Alright, so that's telling me that the thickness of this material is 10 millimeters. Okay, as you can see, this has got holes on it. So, different command for putting holes on. Hole and thread, there, left click, and then drag away, and I can drop it there. Okay, so you can see there, M12. So that tells me this hole's a threaded hole. I'm going to do the same on this side, there. Again, you can see here, I've got the hole dimensioned, and for it to be dimensioned properly, it's got to have that symbol with a line through it. Okay, now let's watch what happens here if I use the dimension tool. If I click there and there to dimension this hole, you can see it's giving me a 12.1 size, but there's no symbol in front of that, so technically that's not correct. Oh, I cancel that. Now if I press escape on the keyboard and I left click on that text, I hit delete on my keyboard and away it goes. Okay, so that's putting some basic dimensions on there. A couple of other things that will come in handy is this center point, which is just off the center of the toolbar along the top. I'm going to click on that, and then I'll do that one there, and then I'll do that one. So we commonly use this for the center holes, and what that tells the person manufacturing it is this, for example, this hole here is perfectly concentric to that radius. Alright, again, there's a few do's and don'ts when it comes to this. I'm not going to dimension all of this, I'm going to let you have a little go at that yourself, but I'll put another couple on just to give you a bit more of an example. I'll click on dimension again, and as you can see here, I've got a little radius in there. Alright, and if I click that this green dot, what will happen is it will put a linear line in, but I can see that I need a radial line there. So I hover over it, you can see it's just a red line now, and I'll left click on that, and I drag away, and you can see I've got my radius on there. Okay, I'll do the same again, there and there. I'll do the same on that one, there and there, and then there and there. You may be asking, what's the point of having all four of these when they're all the same? That's a good point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to hover over that text, and I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to type the letters in capitals, TYP, always capitals on drawings. I'm going to type that TYP on, and what that does is it tells the person who's manufacturing that all of these radiuses here are 2 millimeters. So that means I can get rid of that. Because the key to engineering drawings is you want to put as much information on there for the person to make it, but not too much that they get confused. Okay, so if you want to move the page around, you just hold your wheel down on your mouse and you can scroll on and out. Alright, now if for some reason your page disappears, come up to your little quick access bar and select that icon, and it brings it back in. Alright, so there's loads of new dimensions that need to be put onto that, but I'm going to leave that for now, and then obviously you can practice on your own job. One last little bit I'm going to show you is how to put a bit of text onto the page, because it may be you need to add a little note. So if I click on the text here, and then you'll see a little yellow dot. If I left click on that, always capitals, remember. Dimensions, and obviously you can type whatever you want into this box. Alright, if you want to highlight that, you can make it a bit bigger, or you highlight it, you can change the colour of it, and then OK that, and then that leaves that little note. Press escape on there, and then last little bit, leader text. I'm going to select the leader text icon, left click on the image itself. You see a little arrow, and then I'll double left click on the page, and then I can type what I want into there. Yeah, so I've got the name of the part. Obviously you can type materials in and whatever else you need. I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, so as I said, there's quite a few sizes missing of this, but that's how we put a part onto a drawing, put some basic dimensions on, and then annotate it with some text. And then all of this stuff can be moved around a little bit later if you want it. So I tend to just throw as much information onto the screen as I can, and then I make it look pretty later. Okay, so one last thing, and then I'll be leaving you. To put another drawing into this file, okay, because as you can see here, if I go back to the initial file I had open, I've got 3 sheets there. I've got this assembly, I've got this orthographic, and I've got another orthographic underneath. If I want to do the same, I'm going to come back to here. If I want to do the same and I have all one job, just one drawing file, if I come back to my place views and I come up to the very right hand side on there and I click new sheet, what will happen is it puts a new sheet in here, and then I can start to draw my next component that belongs to this product on there. Alright, and if I want to go back to that first one, I click sheet 1, and there it is. Now the advantage of having this with additional sheets put in is that any information you put in your title block will automatically be transferred between the sheets, and also if you've got all your drawings on one sheet, then automatically when you go into your folder with your parts, you're only dealing with one file, as opposed to, you know, some jobs will have 10 drawings. So the last thing you want to do is start to manage 10 different files. So just keep adding that one sheet, and if you want to go back to original or whatever one you want, away we go. Alright, so hopefully that makes sense, and as always, if you need any help, then you can give me a shout, and thanks for watching. All the best. Bye.